withheld their testimony, it appears that Judge Breyer will not be putting any of these witnesses in jail.
And how would you like it? How would you like to be forced to testify against a cause you believe in, or be compelled to testify against someone you know or respect? I mean, it's ridiculous bullying by the government.
It's what we saw in the 1950s with the McCarthyite witch hunts, where their grand juries are subpoenaing all these witnesses to testify before the grand juries in what is essentially a political prosecution. We have the same type of political witch hunt going on in this case against supporters of medical marijuana. And the so-called recalcitrant witnesses are some of the leading luminaries of the medical cannabis movement in California. So this is really an attempt by the government to suppress dissent and to punish people for their political beliefs and advocacy.
My name is Sherry Greenberger. Just one more point that actually Ed's wife, Jane Rosenthal, or Jane Klein, brought up to me, which was this is really evidence of how far the federal government is really willing to go. In other words, the judge was referencing on the stand that he had a major white-collar crime case that the government was putting in a lot of resources into. Well, they're also putting a lot of resources into this case, and it does show, from the Bush administration, I see them fully backing this in an attempt to try to illustrate to the public that marijuana is bad. And this can no longer be an acceptable position for anyone to take in light of what's going on around the world internationally with the legalization of marijuana, with the medical studies that are coming out. This can no longer be denied. So if they want to go forward and put all these resources into it, bring it on. We're ready.
Ed.
Well, I am happy that the government wants to proceed with this case, because this is a tipping point case as to whether patients in California will be able to receive their medicine free of harassment, or whether the federal government is going to try to either stop them from getting their medicine or prosecute them. And I hope to prove that the government's policies are bereft of any saving grace. And we also, when I was arrested, the head of the DEA came out to announce my arrest. And from the very beginning, this has been a political case. And now that the government is trying to prosecute me, even though I've already served my time, it shows how really corrupt they are. And as part of that corruption, we've already proved to the court that the prosecutor lied to the grand jury. We've proved to the court that the prosecutor is vindictive. And now we're going to prove to the court that the prosecutor has been bribing people and bribing witnesses. And we look forward to this, and we look forward to a prosecution of the prosecutor. Thank you.
Now that you're going to trial, what do you hope to come out of it? What do you hope to be the final result of this trial?
Well, I'd like to see the laws change, but this is going to be a big impetus, I think, to show how, to help change the laws, because it's going to show how really corrupt the government has to be in order to continue with its policy, which is against, it's sort of like the Iraq War. Most Americans are against the Iraq War, but the government continues. Most Americans think that medical marijuana patients should be able to get their medicine, but the government won't let them have it. And so we have to forcefully stop that through the courts.
Robert Ampara. Are you going to convict jurors in the first trial? They asked him if he knew that he was considered himself an agent of the city of Oakland. They said they wish they'd have known that. They might have done things different. Is that the type of thing you hope to bring out this?
That's exactly the type of thing. We hope to let the jury know the truth. The federal government, the prosecutor in this case in the last trial, filed motions with the court to preclude the defense from giving that kind of information, that pertinent and material information to the jury for them to consider. And because of the federal laws, the judge kept that out. We anticipate to give, we are bringing in several different motions to try to bring that same information in under several different legal theories this time, so that the jury can make a decision about guilt or innocence based on the whole truth, not just Mr. Bevan's half-truths.
Can you give us that in a soundbite, in 1 or 2 sentences, what you hope to bring in? Because I was kind of wondering, it's a good pertinent point.
We hope to be able to present the jury with the truth in this trial, and the truth is that
The whole truth.
the whole truth, which is that Mr. Rosenthal was deputized by the city of Oakland to help produce medicinal cannabis, so that the dispensaries could be supplied with medicine, and that's all this is about. And this is
One other interesting point just that we want to note is that today is the day we're going to be filing a motion under the Hyde Amendment seeking attorney's fees for this vexatious, bad faith, and frivolous litigation. We are going to be bringing this action against the U.S. Attorney's Office and specifically seeking for the U.S. Attorney's Office to reimburse the legal team, all of the people that have contributed to this defense for Mr. Bevan and the U.S. Attorney's conduct. And the centerpiece of this motion is going to be the judge's order for vindictive prosecution. 30 days after the order is issued, it becomes final if the government does not move for an appeal. The order was issued March 14th. Today is Friday, April 13th. The U.S. Attorney's Office announced its intention not to appeal, thereby conceding the vindictive nature of the prosecution to date. And we have that motion drafted and intend to e-file it this afternoon. If anyone's interested, we can email you copies of that. And we have spoken to experts on the issue.